Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or you're coming back, thank you for being here. And today I'm gonna do a quick daily energy check. I am currently in Sofia, Bulgaria, continue with my journey throughout Europe, visiting friends and family, having time away from home setting and the usual routine. So let's get right to it. We'll start with an oracle card, as always. The first card will be for Divine Feminines watching. And this is the Angel Therapy deck, so this is a card of advice. For the feminines, we have Archangel Raphael. The healing angel is with you, supporting your healing work. So very good time for doing inner child work and any kind of healing work. And that goes both for emotional and for physical healing. So take it how it resonates for you. For masculines, we have the base chakra. Choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances, as your words determine your outcome. Yeah, it's one of the masculine chakras in general, but so it's kind of very much a masculine natural habitat, right? But I would say that for everyone, because it's a base chakra, it's like the first one of the core chakras that we talk about, because nowadays people identify many more chakras than just 7, but this is the base one from the 7. And this is our foundation, right? It's responsible for giving us a sense of safety in a good way, right? Like we're supposed to be safe. That's like the Maslow pyramid of needs is like a it's like a baseline, right? And then once your core needs are met and safety is like the very base one, then you can expand and you can do other stuff. If this one is not met, that there is no conversation about moving forward or like doing something that's of growth, that's of expansion, that's unknown, uncharted territory, because then you will always be in a survival mode and you won't be able to fully expand that way. Okay, let's go into tarot. I've got the deluxe edition cards with me today. So let's see what we have. Six of Coins, bottom of the deck. Very much a balancing energy, like all around, and I can feel it in the air that there's a lot going on for like grounding the shifts that we've been experiencing on the energetic realm, being able to connect those energies with real life application, right? Like what is it? So I've learned this new truth about self-expression, about love. How does it help me in my everyday life? So tomorrow I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna have to, do homework with my kids. Like how do I apply it in those settings, right? Because everything that we talk about is not really, that far-fetched. Like it's not supposed to be just a theory about the galactic energies and all that. It's very much applicable. As soon as it becomes applicable in your real life setting, it becomes useful. It becomes something that you can work off and where you can change your life, basically. Okay, bottom of the deck for here is the strength, right? You need the strength to find that level of harmony, to be able to essentially start anew. Oftentimes to reinvent yourself, it takes a lot of strength, of energy, of stamina, of willpower. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I had in mind. So for the Divine Feminines, we have Four of Cups clarified by Justice. Yeah, this pair is, well, I mean, Justice is obviously the balance, but I'm getting that while there is the divinely orchestrated balancing in place, so while energies are being rebuilt, there is a certain level of like, I'll believe it when I see it, kind of from defendants, you know, like we've been through this before, show me the money kind of vibe. You know, what does it change really in my journey, this new balance, or if I make effort to find new balance, like what is it really changing for me, right? There's a little bit of skeptical energy there. That's what I'm getting, but I can also sense that with this justice that's divinely orchestrated, the feminines are slowly but surely overcoming the skepticism. For the masculines, we have Seven of Swords clarified by the Tower. Again, the major arcana on the back energy, like on the background, on the clarifier, right? The energy of like certain things coming to light where there were either secrets, i.e. like lack of information, or it wasn't true. Like there were some stories that had been told previously that were untrue in their close circles. That's what I'm getting. So friends, family, something went down in the past and they never really knew the whole story of it, right? Or how it came about, or how maybe somebody had an agenda and they made it look like it was in their benefit, or their friends had their best interest in mind, but it wasn't the case, and now they find out. So it brings towers because it's like, you know, when there's a certain point in the past, like a certain event that was like a big milestone event that triggered lots of different events, like certain relationships being built or being broken. For some of them could be some other dependent choices that they had made, like do I move forward with like this philosophy in mind, do I build forward with this job in mind, and do I move forward with this how do I say this, but yeah, I mean, with this community in mind, right? Like this is my set of friends, right? Like they've helped me out, they had my back. For example, now I'm gonna help them out, right? And they've been helping, and then they figure out that those friends didn't have their back at that moment. They made it look like they were extenuating circumstances, but actually they made a choice. For example, to vouch for themselves, for their own wants and needs, and to a certain degree to ignore this friendship. Additional question. The Devil clarified by Seven of Swords, so more of the manipulation energy and some kind of bad blood coming to the surface. And yeah, I was looking at this picture which looked like this red pain that looked like blood to me, but basically the twins are looking at the energies where there's been an illusion around what manipulation, what toxicity really means. Right? Like if somebody had good intentions in mind, but that were communicating things in a passive-aggressive way or with sarcasm or something along those lines, right? Like now it's like, oh yeah, now I see how they weren't really that kind, or they weren't that loving, right? Like I can see how much of a toxic energy it was and how it impacted me short-term and long-term. What does it mean for the feminines? We have Page of Wands and clarified by Six of Cups. Yeah, for the feminines, it's the stories from their childhood. It's the stories when they were younger, and that could be like the teen age or even the younger age. The stories their parents or their other family members told them. Could be grandparents, could be siblings, could be teachers. Of like, oh, you know, like you're making these choices where because of what you do, a lot of people are gonna have to I don't know, step down and cater to your needs, or you're being inconsiderate to this and that person, or if you don't start behaving, then this and that will happen in your life. If you don't study, you will never get a good job. Like, no, certain constructs that became mantras to us as children, now they're being unpacked and parsed as like, you know, something that wasn't really the truth in its own, right? And to a certain degree it was toxic itself, or at least it became toxic with time when it started haunting us. For the masculines, we have Queen of Cups clarified by Seven of Cups. So for the masculines, it's choices in love. Like, what does love really mean on the level and on the layer of feelings and emotions, right? Like, you can have strong feelings for someone and when it comes, especially if it's between masculine and feminine energy, it can be quite passionate, it can be quite strong, you know, quite forthcoming. And to masculines, a lot of times it seemed like it was the thing, you know, like that's something that they were going for, that they wanted to do. And now they see that yeah, maybe like there was certain lust there. There were certain, like, no, the person looked good on paper, they knew that would get their friends' approval, something along those lines, but they didn't necessarily show up like with their heart, you know, from a feelings and emotions place, but like in a loving way, right? So this kind of choices that they made, and they had options, and they made choices within those options that were not necessarily to their good and to their, you know, benefit in a good way, and not even to the benefit of the other person. How the feminine see in the connection? The Magician clarified by Two of Wands. Yeah, so feminines know that they need to keep making the choice towards the connection, and they always have a part to play there, even if it looks like the masculine is the one that's misbehaving, that's being idle or passive or slow, not getting it, whatever the vibe is, friend zoning you, right? There's always something for us to do, and we need to keep making this choice. Like, we need to keep showing up, yes, even if it's within ourselves, for ourselves. If we're not talking to our DM, that's fine. It doesn't mean that we need to, you know, sacrifice our boundaries or our health to physically be in touch with them. It needs to be healthy, it's very important, but it still means that within our own right, we need to be making those conscious choices and to feel like we're empowered, that we're not just victims waiting for the masculines to finally make the move, to finally come through, to finally realize how important we are in their life. How the masculine see in the connection? Nine of Cups clarified by Ace of Cups. I love this so much. This is like 10 of Cups altogether. But yeah, this is also like the Nine of Cups is more of an individual wish fulfillment. 10 of Cups is being like having that highest emotional fulfillment together with someone, right? Like, we always see in 10 of Cups, we always see people as a group, either a family or a community. But that's the idea, right? Like, we can find that highest emotional fulfillment and joy with people we love, people who are close to us. So masculines realize that the journey to the 10 of Cups, it consists of them being able to be emotionally whole like within themselves, right? And also the unconditional love that they can offer without waiting for something in return. So 10 of Cups is not going to be like, okay, so if I do this and that for you, are you going to do the same for me, right? Or if you're not going to, you know, the fear of rejection of the masculine, like if they're thinking, if the feminine is not gonna say yes, if I'm not sure, then I might not come through at all, right? Like, because that changes everything, right? Like, I don't want to risk that, right? Like, this is the change of that story, of that game. And I know it sounds a little cheesy, but for a lot of masculines, it's a very strong point in their worldview, in the way they build relationships, right? Like, if they're not sure, the girl is, or, you know, the feminine energy is gonna say yes. A lot of times they just abandon the situation, they go do something else, right? And if they decide to kind of challenge themselves there, a lot of times it's still not coming from a loving space. It's more like, okay, I want to challenge here, I will accept it. And if that's the attitude, then it's not healthy either, right? Because at some point it's still going to be a confrontation, still going to be a battlefield. And I know there is a song about love being a battlefield, but let's face it, on the spiritual journey, it's maybe to a certain degree an energy battle, but essentially we don't want it to be a battle, right? And the higher we go, the more we want to be able to resolve our differences in peaceful ways and be able to have conversations and understand where each of us is, what do we want, are we ready to be together, things like that, without actually hurting each other. And I mean, I know some truths can be hurtful in its own way, but you know what I mean. Not actually being abusive or hurting someone's feelings specifically out there. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I don't know whether I'll have a reading tomorrow, but I do want to do something for the full moon reading. So I'll be back this week. I will be really busy, so I can't promise readings every day, but yeah, I'll do what I can. Thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time.